Hey, I'm Sandy. I play bass in Borrowed Time. I play guitar in Hostage and drums in Laid to Rest. What got me into punk and hardcore? Uh, let's see. We moved into a. We moved up the mountain when I was in grade six, and I met up with a dude named Justin that gave me a blank tape, a mixtape, and I was already into metal. I was already into Maiden and stuff like that, Sabbath, Motley Crue, and Justin gave me this tape with Forgotten Rebels on one side and Dead Kennedys on the other. And as an 11-year-old, hearing Bomb the Boats and Nazi punks for the first time, I was like, okay, we're onto something here. You know, I kind of compared some of that stuff to like that early surf stuff that I wasn't a fan of. So that first gen punk was cool because it was super edgy, but there's just something kind of missing. I need something more basic, a little harder, you know. And I think at the time, Kill 'Em All was probably my favorite record at the time, maybe Four of a Kind. So to get into stuff, to hear punk rock like that, I was like, okay, we're going in the right direction here. We're getting away from that showy, glammy, leather-clad, studded metal shit. And, you know, I'm like, okay, this is some next level stuff here. So a buddy of mine, Filthy Phil, he gave me Wake Up with the Wet Spots and the Problem Children record, The Future. That was my first two punk records that I really got to sink my teeth into, and it was pretty cool. And then I got in through them. I got into like Hype. I got the Hype record. That was probably one of the first records I ever bought with my own money as a kid. Hype Burned. That's a great record, man. And then from there, it just kind of blossomed, you know, into Suicidal and, you know, Cro-Mags and Forbidden and stuff like that. Just all the gnarly grassroots shit. And you know, and then that's kind of what started the hunger to kind of transition into hardcore. Main influences growing up. I was an impressionable kid. Musically, I loved the sound of, you know, getting in. I started playing guitar when I was 8, so, you know, I really loved how wild Jimi Hendrix was. Jimmy was a huge musical influence, but, you know, I really liked Mick Mars's chugs, like, as a kid, watching that Live Wire video and, you know, hearing those chugs, I was like, those chugs, man, I need those chugs. So, yeah. But actually, when I joined Chokehold, I was 14, and you know, as we started playing shows and I started getting further into the guitar thing, heavily influenced by other musicians we would share the stage with, you know, like playing guitar with Ten Thumbs Beckman, you know, playing with him, you know, jamming 3-4 times a week. It was, you know, just watching his style and kind of adapting my own style and, you know, getting into that sort of thing. So I think a lot of my influences early on were more so they were people that we played with, you know, people, the live shows we got to see, in the bands we got to play with. So you watch a drummer, like at the time I wasn't playing drums, so, you know, but you watch drummers and you get stoked on how somebody plays, you know, with some new style or, you know, the flair that they have. And then same with guitar, you know, how gnarly they are, how sloppy they are, and how well they sell it. You know, I was always a fan of the sloppy guitar players, you know, that really sold it. And you know, so yeah, I could not no huge big time influences, you know, just influenced by things that I can directly pull from and feed off of on a daily, you know, in my own life. Those are the people that influenced me. So sorry, I'd love to say it was Steve Vai or, you know, Eddie Van Halen, but it wasn't. It was just friends, you know, people that you rotate around. Those are my influences. First concert, I was 13. It was the C&E. It was Black Crowes, Warrant, Metallica, and Aerosmith. And it was, yeah, I know. It was Metallica on the tail end of the Justice tour, so they had the full Justice stage set up. And Sebastian Bach from Skid Row came out and sang with Steve Tyler. It's amazing. Yeah, I was 13. I did my paper route in like 12 minutes, and then my dad drove me and my little buddy out to C&E, and he hung out in the parking lot while we went in there and saw the show. Smelled some new smells. First concert, first show. Let's see, I joined Chokehold when I was 14, so I think the first show I ever, like real show I saw was probably the first Chokehold show I played. And then, that was my first real experience was, from the other side of the stage. And then the first show I saw was probably November 92, Buffalo. It was it's like Slugfest, Support, Project C, and I think it was Zero Tolerance or Snapcase, I can't remember. But, I think it was Zero Tolerance because I remember we had the demo. I remember Logan had the demo in his car where it's like, back to square one, all the way home, crossing the border. And I just remember my little 14 or 15-year-old head loving life, and, singing along with that shit. So, yeah, those are my first show experiences. Favorite show. I don't know about favorite show. More so as favorite sets. So like I don't know, as an old guy, 2017. This is hardcore. Being side stage for Gorilla Biscuits. Hearing the horns from side stage, and then watching them launch in a new direction. It was probably the gnarliest thing and the coolest experience ever to be there for that. That was amazing. Being able to see your buddy play bass and Slapshot, that was cool. I love Slapshot. Sets, so many cool sets, like being able to see Slugfest play in Buffalo as a kid, and just the energy in that room, and everybody was like stoked and happy and just like moshing on top of each other and just murdering each other. That was amazing. Who else? Like, I don't know. It was 94, seeing Sick of It All in Syracuse. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The Lost Horizon back then was like one of the coolest venues to see shows. So to see Earth Crisis in their prime, at the Lost Horizon, just, everybody just giant smiles and just murdering each other. That was like, always an absolute treat to be a part of. That was, those things you never forget. I don't know, seeing Integrity with the Melnicks. That was like, I don't ever think I got to see Integrity as a kid. Either they were, locally they were, either booked in no shows, or, maybe they did play locally and I couldn't go, for whatever reason. But, as like an adult, thanks to Dom, being able to see, Integrity play with the Melnicks was super highlight. Seeing Ringworm in a small venue, Sidebar in Baltimore, seeing Ringworm play, like that brought me out of Mosh retirement. They had a brand new set of Vans I wore to that show, and they were just murdered after that set. Like, I think I was sore for 3 days after that set, and those are like highlights that you don't forget. Add on to the favorite show, I gotta say the Sacrifice reunion at the Opera House. Wow, 11-year-old me, was erect. It's by far, as an adult, one of my favorite shows ever. Being able to finally after so many years see Sacrifice was amazing. Like, to this day, I still look back on the show, and I think I've seen Sacrifice 3 times since that show, 2 or 3 times, and that show still sticks out. Even seeing them, the second or third time doing the Motorhead cover with Danko was amazing. But seeing them on that first reunion, I don't know, 2013 or 2010 or whatever year it was, I don't even know. Just well, let's see. I joined Chokehold when I was 14. I was like 91. So I did Chokehold from 91 to late 94, and I got booed out of that band, and I kind of took a shit on the scene for probably 5-6 years. I don't really care for the scene after leaving that band. You know, butthurt, whatever it was. Still play guitar, play with buddies in like, you know, little bands, house shows, whatever, but nothing of note. I think 2000 and something, I tried out for this. I was asked to join this band, to try out for this band, and it ended up it was like some cock rock, you know, new school band, and Dan Caselli was on drums. That's how I met Dan, and that band went for a shit shortly after, thank God, and then me and Dan and this other kid JJ started a band, and that kind of reinvigorated my want to be in a band again. So yeah, thanks for that, Dan, dick. And then that fizzled out like a lot of things did, you know, just at that age, you know, you get into something for a little bit, and then, you know, you're into something else. And I think I joined 7-inch with Pete and Ryan for a while, and I got out of that, and then I floated around a couple other bands after that. And I think in 2008, I think we started Hatchet Face, and I think we did Hatchet Face from like 2008 to 2011. That was fun. That was me and Bigley and Bolts and laid the rest. I think 2010, 2009-ish, maybe 2008, I don't even know. And while we were still doing the Hatchet Face thing, we started Laid to Rest, and we did that. We're still doing that to this day. So that's, you know, 2008 to present, Laid to Rest. Hatchet Face, we called it quits in 2011. 2013, I got the call to join Haymaker. So I think I'm still in Haymaker. I don't know, probably, whatever. The whole time Laid to Rest is still going. And then we did the Chokehold reunion 2015, I think. I quit that deal end of 2018 because I don't like the way that band was going, and Hostage was starting to pick up speed. I started Hostage late 2017, I think. I wanted to be in a band with Rogers and another guy. The other guy bounced, and you know, Andy from Laid to Rest playing bass in that band. And to this day, we're still doing Hostage. And then I think about the same time, I joined Borrowed Time late 2017. I wanted to bring them up to Ontario to play a show, and they needed a bass player. They didn't have a bass player, so tried to learn the songs as best I could on, like, you know, a week's notice or whatever. And they came up, and shortly after that, they asked me to, you know, hang out. So still currently playing bass in that band. And recently, just through COVID, and, you know, some of us, you know, wanting to respect COVID, you know, and having issues within that, you know, we, the rest of us who, you know, weren't having the COVID issues or work issues within trying to navigate our way through this pandemic bullshit, we started a little side band off a Hostage called Coke Spoon, which is hilarious at best, gnarly band. So we're still doing that. So yeah, well, that's it. Craziest thing. The craziest thing is the fact that the water heater is making a boatload of noise and will not shut the fuck up. That's the craziest thing right there. 92, Buffalo, Shelter. We went there to see the show, you know, and Beckman went there to interview Ray Capo and get the skinny on the Krishna chord. And so we got there, I think it was at Randall Studios, and set up the interview, and we all got after the show. The Shelter van was kind of parked kind of in this little not an alleyway, but a little parking space off the side of the venue. And after the show, everybody's hanging out, milling around, and Jeff Scott Ray sitting on this little wall or something off the side of the venue there, and so he's getting into the interview, and we're all hanging around watching, and we're all anxious to find out about this new religious side to the hardcore scene that we're unfamiliar with, and Jeff and Ray are starting to have a conversation, and then out of nowhere, around both sides of the van, and there was like bushes behind us or something, if I remember correctly, these dudes came from out of nowhere, and they had handguns and baseball bats, and I don't know if they didn't like the fact that these Krishna kids were hanging out in their hood or whatever the deal was, but these guys came rolling, and they just started beating the shit out of everybody, and we all scattered. As soon as we saw the gun, we just scattered, and I think all the Krishna kids hopped in the shelter van, and some other kids hopped in the van, and I don't know if Ray got punched in the face or not, but I know Jeff got pistol whipped, and I think I don't know who in the band grabbed Jeff after that, but we all, as we were running away, Jeff got pulled into the shelter van, and they slammed the door, and we're running down the street to one of our cars that we came in, and I just remember looking back. I think I was like 15 at the time or something. I remember looking back and just seeing people just getting murdered behind me, not literally but figuratively, and we got in the car, and we were like, we just gotta find the cops, and we just couldn't believe that, like, so many of our friends were just getting their asses handed to them by these dudes that showed up out of nowhere, and I see this cop coming up this side road, and I remember the car slowed down, and we were in this little two-door K car, and I was riding shotgun, and I think there was like 7 of us in this car, and the girl who was driving piles on the brakes, and I go to open the door to hop out to flag down the cop, and she cranks a Larry, and I go rolling out of the car, and the cop rolls up, and he's just like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "My buddy's down there getting beat up, blah, blah, blah." And all the cops showed up, and all the dudes that came in to start beating everybody up, they all scattered and ran away, and we come back, and for half the Christian kids are all bloodied, and some of the other local hardcore kids that came to the show are all beat to fuck, and Jeff's beat up pretty good, and that was like the most like chaotic 0 to 100 thing I've ever witnessed at a show. I mean, I've seen some shit at shows, like hearing gunshots in Detroit, when you're unloading, like I remember like unloading our van, at the university to play a show at this it was called the Grounds or something. It was like a coffee shop on the university grounds there, and we were unloading the van, and we heard gunshots, and I remember like all of us, we just kind of like hit the ground and ran under the van, and like a couple of locals that were there helping us set up, they didn't even flinch. They're like, "Oh no, it's just a block away, don't worry about it. It's just, you guys are okay." And we're just like, really, But that Buffalo show. That's probably one of the craziest, most chaotic things I've ever been a part of. Like that just went from 0 to 100. Fuck the water heater. What do I enjoy the most? What do I hate the most? I enjoy the fact that as a member of this super rad punk and hardcore scene, we have a voice, and it's our job to educate and let people become a part of whatever your idea is, whether it's my idea or your idea. I love the fact that we have an open forum, and it's inclusive, and everybody can come and just be equals. Whether you fight the good fight, outside of that show or outside of that scene you're in, when you come to a show, you're no better, no worse than me, but what I hate is the fact that, that voice, I love the fact that we have a voice, and I hate the fact that we have a voice, we have our opinions, and we have the ability to convey that to like-minded people. Well, I hate the fact that within our scene we have to fight with each other, and I hate the fact that when you pay your $5 to come in the door, you come in with the same expectation that I do, that we can just come in and have a good time and share ideas, and if you want to mosh, if you want to let loose, if you want to hang out by the bar, hang out by the bar. But I hate the fact that we fight each other, because we're not the ones we need to fight with. We should be educating people outside of the scene on our ideals rather than enforcing them upon ourselves, to each other. We seem to spend more time policing ourselves than we do the people that need to be policed. And within our scene, there is a responsibility to police yourself and police each other. Police is a bad word, but you guys know what I mean. But the message needs to get spread outside of the scene, because you come to a show because you have an idea, a similar idea to those of the bands that you are going to see, and that's great. You're preaching to the choir. We play music and we sing to you, and then you like, yes, we love it, and then you want to hear what we have to say. I want to hear what you have to say, whether you're a band, whether I'm in the crowd or on the stage, it doesn't matter. But the people that need the education are those outside of that show you're at, and we spend way too much time punching ourselves in the face, and we should be getting that message. We use those shows to empower ourselves to go outside of those shows to spread that message, and that needs to happen. It's real easy to go on Instagram or Facebook and pick on each other, but why? Okay, I don't have the same idea that you have, and I understand your idea. That's great. Give it to me. I'm going to take it. I'm going to learn from it. But your jobs, your families, the other events you attend outside of the punk rock hardcore scene, you are the people that need to spread those messages outside of that circle. And great, you want to tell me your ideas. It's fucking awesome, but I'm really aware of that, and thanks for that, and I respect the fact that you share the space with me. But go outside of your circle and spread that message, and then spread that positivity, spread that education, and that's how change happens. It doesn't happen by spreading it within your circle, because your circle knows. So that's what I love and hate. I love the fact that we have a voice, and I hate the fact that we have a voice and we preach to ourselves. I also hate the fact that you come to a show to play and you don't have the cables. I hate being the out of town band that comes and has to cater to the locals. Hey, we're going to use your drum kit. Well, fuck, how do you do it Monday through Friday in your own town? But if that's my biggest gripe, then I really have no issues, because at the end of the day, we just want to play, and everybody just wants to fucking scream and yell and kick and punch and fall down on the dance floor, fall off the stage, and laugh and drink a beer or drink a bottle of water, be who we are, and fuck, I really have no issues with anything. If that's my biggest problem, then I got bigger problems than we all know. So just fucking give each other hugs, man. Fuck off. Alright, Steve from Stronger Than Ever videos. Here's my useless talent. Ladies, you're gonna love this. I just put the toilet seat down. You're welcome. Just like that. Down it goes. Okay? Just like that. I'm really good at it. Just, when you're done, like that. Favorite food. Okay, favorite food changes like everyone else does. Some days it's it could be sushi. Another day it could be vegan pizza pockets. The next day it could be fucking, I don't know, fried chicken. I don't know. But right now, Mexican. You can't be Mexican. Real Mexican. Taco Bell's great. Don't get me wrong. But real Mexican, like. You gotta have the bean, you gotta have the rice, guac, and put guac on everything. I just had that ghost pepper chicken wrap. That was really good from one of those places that does stuff. And for those of us meat eaters, who doesn't like a good chicken wing? Chicken wings are pretty rad. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go with chicken wings and Mexican, I guess. Like real Mexican. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I like Taco Bell. Fuck it. I like Taco Bell. Let's go out Taco Bell. Steve, Taco Bell, let's go.